You know, the iridescent flash of bait fish in the sunlight is familiar to all people that fish, especially to marine and aquatic predators. Now, when you're creating custom baits, you really want to protect your paint job, but it's really nice to be able to add a flashiness, an iridescent flash to your lures that simulate those bait fish flash in the sunlight. And what we've got here is we've got our Lure Epoxy Gel Coat Iridescent Finish System. It's a really great kit because it includes 4 ounces of Lure Epoxy Gel Coat and 4 different colors of iridescent crystals. You have blue, green, gold, and violet. It comes with mixing cups, stir sticks, brushes, and syringes as well. It's a really great kit that has it all in it ready to go. In this video, we're going to show you 2 techniques on how to apply the iridescent finish to your custom baits. The first method is where we suspend the crystals in the gel coat and apply it to the bait. The second method is a dual coating technique which allows us to apply multiple colors.
Okay, now we're going to measure and mix our Lure Epoxy Gel Coat. We're not going to get too detailed into this process. If you really want a detailed, drawn-out version of how to properly measure and mix Lure Epoxy Gel Coat or our rod finish, you could check out our video called Mixing Rod Finish. And though these are 2 different formulas for 2 different applications, the mixing and measuring procedure is exactly the same. Basically, you want to measure 2 equal portions precisely, and you want to mix them with a round, non-porous stir. The mixture is going to be marbled, then cloudy, then marbled again, and then it's going to turn crystal clear. Mix it up until it's completely mixed. There's a big difference between 99% and 100% mixed. Now that we've got it mixed up, and we're sure we got a proper mixture, we're going to pour it out on a paper plate covered with aluminum foil. This is going to do 2 things. It's going to extend the pot life, which is the working time, and it's also going to help eliminate bubbles that were accumulated during mixing. Now, I'm going to add the iridescent crystals. I've got the gold color here for this first technique. I'm going to add those to the mixture, and I'm going to just sprinkle them out of the tube that it comes in. And I don't want to get too much, but I want to get enough. All around the top of that finish. It's going to soak down in there, and I'm going to mix it in with my brush a little bit too. You know, another technique is if you have a salt shaker and put your crystals inside the salt shaker, it comes out really nice. Okay, now I've got my brush and I'm mixing in the finish just a little bit, not too much, and I'm ready to apply this. I'm just going to put it right on my bait. And you know, I start at the head and I just work my way back, and you just want to get it on there and cover it. Be sure not to cover any areas of the lure that you don't want to cover, like the bill or the eyes for the hooks or anything like that. For now, I'm just trying to get it on there. And the crystals are embedded in the gel coat, and it's kind of what you see is what you get. So get it on there, get it on the surface, and then you can come back and really clean it up and make it as thick or as thin as you want it. And if you need more crystals, you can always add them at this point too. This is the real quick and easy way to do this. 1 coat process and you're done. There's nothing like a lure coated with Lure Epoxy Gel Coat with the iridescent glitter in there. It just really attracts attention. There's nothing like that flash of a bait fish. All right, I'm finishing this lure up. This is great, just 1 coat of gel coat with some iridescent crystals in there. And I'm just going to reach up, grab onto my lure drum, stop it, and insert my lure and let it go. It'll rotate for 2 hours. Okay, for this second method, I'm going to apply 1 coat of gel coat with no crystals. I'm just going to get it on the surface of this lure. I'm going to make sure that it covers everything that I want to get my iridescent crystals on. The back, the belly, everything. I'm going to coat this whole lure. And I want to start to take it down to its nice thin coat. Just a thin coat of gel coat on this lure on this first coat. This is a 2-coat process. You can see I got some really long strokes here, making sure it's nice and even and thin. I don't want this to build up anywhere. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to put it on our lure drum and we're going to let it rotate for a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, this bait's been rotating for a little over an hour. It's time to put our crystals on. I got my green tube of iridescent crystals, and I'm just going to gingerly work my way up to it. I don't want anything to dump out of there. I just want to light sprinkle it first so I can gauge how it's spreading. It's starting to come. Okay, I got a good feel for the way it's coming out now, so I can really control where that's going. I got no fan on in the room. You can see it's a nice green stripe down the back of that lure. Now it's time to move on to the gold. And I've got a little salt shaker here with gold iridescent crystals in it. And it works really good to give me a nice dusting. You can see I've got it up high. And I've got that paper plate underneath my work surface. So I'm not wasting any crystals. Any crystals that don't adhere to the lure or float off in the air are going to land on that paper plate. And I can use those again on future baits. Okay, I've got that thing dusted and coated really good the way I want it to with two colors. Reach up and stop my lure drum, put it in place. And now I'm going to mix up some gel coat immediately and put another coat on that lure. The final coat. Alright, so this is our final coat. I've got my new batch of gel coat mixed up. And I just want to coat this lure. Notice I'm only brushing in one direction because I want all those crystals to lay down flat and be on the same plane. It's going to be the best show for the iridescent flash that I'm trying to achieve here with these crystals. And just all brushing in one direction. Take that finish down pretty thin. Don't want to add a lot of weight to this lure. It's looking pretty good. I've got this bait pretty well coated. What you see is what you get at this point. So make it look good. Okay, now I'm going to put this on my lure drum. I'm going to reach up and stop the lure drum by hand. It's got a built-in slip clutch. And I'm going to let that baby rotate for 2 hours. Okay, so here's our baits afterward. This is the one coat. You can see that crystals gleaming in the light, and it just looks great. Here's our two coat, two color, and the green on the back. You can still see even some blue in there, and the gold on the belly. There's really nothing like this to create that iridescent flash of a bait fish. So yeah, these look great.